You're nothing but street grease, you heard? Street grease, you motherfucker!
Is that gasoline I smell?
This is Chris Aballo's podcast experiment, and I am Chris Aballo. Welcome to the show, making its debut at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, 65 Broad Street in Red Bank, New Jersey. And joining me on this special occasion, please welcome back Mike Zapcic.
What's going on, folks? How are we? Sorry, that was
ill-timed.
I think I cut my chin too. Those goddamn
that was a lack of coordination like only a Caucasian can have.
Exactly. I cannot stress enough
you
how
can laugh,
white
Christian,
people.
it's okay.
Yeah,
and Christian
go ahead,
Cortez,
Christian.
everybody.
Yes, the voice of God himself is behind the
That's right.
microphone.
He won't be talking much. He's been fighting something, which is why he wussed out and didn't come in costume. Whereas
No, I'm in costume. I'm comfortable. It's my favorite character.
that's the only way I ever see you. It's sandals and shorts and that Snoopy t-shirt.
There you go.
So you're always comfortable. What's different? I'll tell you what's different.
So much.
Us.
Yeah.
I mean, well, this is certainly different.
I don't get dressed up for just anybody, Chris. So.
Not at all. You put on a jacket and a tie. I'm very honored.
Yeah.
And lest we forget that obviously you run this store that we're in right now. So the idea that my little show is here is pretty amazing. And let me say right off the top, thank you very much for that.
Of course.
It's a big deal.
Of course.
It's a very big
fun.
deal. It is fun. We do have fun in the show. Now, this is the first show back, Cape 215. And had a break for almost 2 months, but we're clearly at the end of October. So what's that going to mean? Well, going to do 6 more shows, and we're going to go until 220. So every Monday. Now, the audio of this show, it's streaming live on the YouTube channel, and the video will be up perpetually. So if you subscribe to the audio feed, it'll go out on Halloween on October 31st, of course. It's one of those holidays that's the same date every year, unlike Easter and some nonsense like that. And then we will go to December 5th. So the next 6 Mondays, there'll be episodes of Cape, and that will wrap up 2022. It'll be 24 episodes for the year, which is just about half of what we did last year. 2021, we did 49, but we're still semi-quarantined.
That's respectful. It's respectful. It's respectable. It's the old network television guide. I mean, they had 24 episodes of any given. That was a season.
True.
So you did a full season.
I did, and we also do like an hour and a half.
That's right. Oh my God.
We run long. We're windy on the show.
Holy shit, do we run long?
Yeah.
Especially when you and I get together, it's insane.
This is why this one threw me off, because there wasn't like a 2-hour pre-show before this one started.
Yeah, that's the difference with live shows. We got started like 10 minutes later than planned, but it's like a doctor's appointment or a concert, a wedding. Nothing starts on time. So, but we started like 10 after, not too bad.
Or colonoscopy. I mean, really.
Okay.
Sure, why not?
Wait a minute. Hang on. Because, all right, I had a birthday.
Congratulations, you're going to get a colonoscopy.
Is it time for colonoscopy? Is it 50 that you start the colonoscopy? I should probably know this.
You do start at 50.
Okay.
Did I start at 50? Yes, I did. I started at 50, so yeah.
All right. Well, countdown begins.
Yeah. Like Siri, remind me 2 years before I have to have my colonoscopy, so I can start sweating.
Yeah.
And they
get a couple of plugs to get things nice. Never mind.
a couple plugs.
Sorry.
Right there you go. Speaking of plugs, no.
Yes.
They
65 Broad Street, Red Bank, New Jersey.
They knock you out when they give you a colonoscopy. They knock you out. Much like prison. They knock you out, and then you wake up and you feel refreshed. In prison, I don't think you do. Prison, when they knock you out and then give you that kind of colonoscopy, you get.
They usually leave something behind.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I know.
Okay.
Boy, we're 5 minutes in. We're already talking prison rape. Cape's back, everybody.
Let's talk toilet wine, folks.
That's right. Where the hell was I? Oh, yeah. So 6 more episodes. 6 more episodes of the show. And then there'll be a break again. But there'll be 2 best ofs again, best of 2022, volume 1 and volume 2. They'll go out in January because there's going to be a break at the beginning of the year again because, well, a couple of reasons. But the best of, not going to push it out right away, going to give it a little bit of time. You get through the holidays and then the residual holiday hangover, and then you can revisit the highlights from Cape from last year. Even though there were less episodes, it just makes sense to divide up into 2 best ofs just to make it more digestible. So that'll be announced later on, but that'll be in January. So yeah, 6 more to go. We can end on 220, which is good because I like that we'll be starting the new year with an episode that ends in number 1.
Okay.
And then maybe aim for like 30 episodes next year and then kind of go from there.
Gotcha. I just had a thought, and
yes.
Christian, tell me if this is feasible. How about a live colonoscopy? There you go. You wear a hero cam.
God.
Maybe that'll be what we'll be up to, like Cape 400 by then. So maybe.
Okay. Well, I'm saying get it
Wait,
early.
for whom?
For you. Get it early, man. Go for it early. And, because early prevention is the best tool.
I mean, that if there is this is going to sound really shitty, but stick with me, folks.
Shit, stick, the whole 9 yards.
But if there is a cancer to get, prostate cancer is the one, in as much as it's insanely treatable, curable,
of course,
and everything else. So, I mean, it's worth it to do what you can to, head it off at the pass.
Yeah, it's probably for the best to get it diagnosed as early as possible. But
yes.
This is not.
Why not start 9 years early?
But seriously, this is not a PSA. But just do it for the fucking the content. Holy crap! How awesome would that be? You go in and then
I could see an article starting with that. Man does podcast during colonoscopy to promote show.
Yeah, that would be
could
great.
see it.
Just wear a hero cam.
Why don't you and I should do it to get when do you do for your next one? Tell me it's 2023.
Let's say 2023.
Okay, because we should do like Steve Martin Short, and Tom Hanks do, where they have a party the night before. They all do the flushing. They drink the whatever it is that turns your stomach into a faucet.
The barium enema, yeah.
Okay, and then we have like a show the night before, and then we do the show the day after.
Oh my God! But
because it's more fun if there's somebody like along for the ride, so to speak. And why not you?
Yeah, why not?
You're not above it.
You wake up and you're like, that was like the best power nap I've ever had. Nice. And you're like, nothing hurts down below because they're surprisingly chill.
Because it's professional.
Yeah, they are.
They're not amateurs like in the aforementioned prison.
It's not like exactly. It's not like Fisto from Masters of the Universe is down there going, I'm gonna fist this, and no, it just doesn't happen like that. They're loving.
Noted.
Yes. So. Okay. And the day after is like, it's not like you're walking around going, oh my God, it's
not a stack of 3 pillows.
Yeah, you're not doing that, or like, oh man, I just wrote out a tombstone, damn it, and not like that at all. It's just like
oh, trigger. Sorry.
You're just wandering around. You're a little loopy because
they send you home with a Heine donut.
Nothing unless you.
I mean, they probably sell one at the gift shop.
Probably.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's well, I love the hospital gift shops. Those are the best because where are you going to get like a little stuffed teddy bear that says "I love you"? It's
exactly. When it's not like February 5th,
right?
You have to go to hospital to get tchotchkes like that. Well, so people are going to be critical, no doubt, because it's the internet about my makeup job. Which let me tell you something. Clearly, the intention was to be the Crow. I got like the leather pants and everything like that just to make sure.
What do you mean intention? It looks great.
Yeah, you look fantastic.
Well, no, I appreciate that. I mean, it's not a screen accurate outfit. Like I don't have the string and the Z and everything on the leg.
Gives a shit.
Purists. They're gonna find it. They're gonna be like, this asshole thinks he's gonna. How dare he besmirch the good name of Eric Draven? No, this isn't Eric Draven the Crow. This is Chris Aballo as the Crow.
We were just talking about this. Christian, when have I ever shied away from telling people to go fuck themselves?
Never.
Exactly.
Don't stop.
You don't like it? Go fuck yourself. You don't like my David S. Pumpkins? Go fuck yourself. I don't care.
You're like my Nicky in Goodfellas. You're like my Joe Pesci.
I
like that.
These people, they need to shut the fuck up is what they need to do. So
I agree.
Shut the fuck up.
But overall, I got to say, it was, I mean, this is an outfit that's somewhat, I'm going to stand up just to show everybody the pants and everything, because they are leather pants.
Look at them.
And yes, it's tucked, before you ask. But
Ladies,
I gotta.
it's tucked.
It has to be. The stuff that the arm butter the Rock puts on, so his muscles glisten in every movie. I had to get some of that for my legs so I can squeeze into these pants. Because
I'm sure it was just for the legs.
I mean, well, look, there's some left over, but what I do tonight is my business, not yours. It's certainly not for public consumption. But
depends on what flavor the butter is.
Well, it depends. Let's see how long the live stream goes. No, but. That is the thing about having to wear these pants, because they are very, I mean, this is the tightest shirt I've ever worn in my life, and the pants are very fit as well. There was some phallic manipulation going on just to get everything in order, which, incidentally, phallic manipulation is my new wave band, a BDSM-themed new wave band. Stay
Best
tuned for
of
news
luck.
about them. Thank you very much.
You'll be where, in Intercourse, Pennsylvania, in the not-too-distant future?
I mean, if you're going to make a debut somewhere, it's Intercourse, Pennsylvania, Normal, Illinois. There are lots of places. But I've been trying to get a makeup artist for a while. Christian did recommend somebody who, unfortunately, because of scheduling, had to pull out a few days ago. And I was calling and emailing anywhere I could find, up in North Jersey by me, down here in the Red Bank area, basically everywhere in between, even south of here, just because I thought, well, let me go and get this done because we're doing the live stream. Most didn't get back to me, so fuck them. And a few people got back to me and basically said, like, yeah, we don't do that. We're not doing that this year, which is, I don't know why. Because everyone, I mean, it's 2022 after two kind of non-Halloweens. I mean, there definitely wasn't one in 2020.
It's also because I think the holiday is kind of changing the way things are happening. It's the weirdest thing where I've noticed that there's a lot more like trunk or treat events near me.
Which really is such bullshit.
Which is the stupidest thing, because it's like some towns are like no trick or treating on the actual night of Halloween, and then some don't give a shit, and then some will just all out replace it with a trunk or treat event. That's just why are we going to the stupid times? Like, that makes no sense. Just let Halloween be Halloween.
They can't. Nobody can let Halloween be Halloween. No. Remember when Sandy happened 10 years ago?
We still have made Halloween happen.
No, well, not really, because Chris Christie was like, he was our governor then. He's like, let's make Halloween on, November's 36th because we're adults. And I'm like, well, there's no
Chris Christie.
Yeah, exactly. There's no date such as November 36th. Thank you very much. That's number one. Number two is, no, we shouldn't take it away from the kids, but it's kind of fucked up when trick or treat. What are you coming to my house for? We were shooting looters about that time. I was like,
that was a whole other level.
Yeah, exactly. It's but there's stuff that. We ended up, the next year doing trick or treat, and we even gave out full-size candy bars that year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's good.
I was like, you know what? Screw
do it
this
for the
noise.
kids. Christian, I just sent you a photo. I was
I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay, thank you very much. Because it's relevant to this. This is something I did not know. This was a story on News 12 that I happened to catch yesterday when I was at the chiropractor because it's getting old. And News 12 had this thing about Mischief Night. Mm-hmm. And they have a map, which Christian's going to bring up any second now. Okay. And most of the country has never heard of Mischief Night. They do not have a name for it. They have no idea.
What about Hell Night?
What it is. I mean, apparently not. There's Devil's Night, Mischief Night, and I have no word for it. Like, there's a huge... Most of the country does not know what it is. I didn't realize that was such a regional thing.
Oh, my God. Well, I mean, Mischief Night is where kids... I guess it's because our parents were teaching us to be douchebags. Going out and TPing people's houses.
I mean, were they teaching you, or were you just like, were kids feral back in your generation? Because I feel like you were kind of left to do your own thing.
We were we were free range kids.
Free range kids.
That's that's what I loved about, like, I went out as Mark Spitz one year. Actually, no, I went.
You just walked around in a Speedo?
No, I swear to God, that was my secondary costume, because I went out and went out as, I forget, like fucking Spider-Man, whoever the hell I was. Nerd. In one of the Ben Cooper costumes. And then I was like, I decided to hit the houses around my house because it was really dark and it was like 6 o'clock at night.
Right.
So I went out in my like bathing suit and I actually put on the swim fins. So I'm wandering around and I'm like, trick or treat. They're like, that's fucked up. That's just fucked up enough to empty the rest of my bowl into your bag for.
That's hilarious.
So that was great.
But you must have been freezing your nuts off because...
it was one of those really weird 70 degree at night. It was like...
that was just lucky.
Or maybe that climate change is bullshit. It's been going on since man's been on Earth. We've had. Well, it's true. And I'm not a climate denier.
No, I know.
But we've had that discussion before. Yes.
We've discussed a lot of things. No, it's not starting to peel. I was going to make a reference that you came dressed as Alex Jones, but
yes, I've got $20 million, or actually $29 million sewn into the lining of my jacket, so nobody can get it. So no, I'm not Alex Jones, and
I'm just kidding.
It was like one of those nights that, also you're like 8 years old, and free candy's free candy. You'll do just about anything for it. So
that's fun, and that's also when you can do something like crazy and get away with that. But did you participate then in Mischief Night? Because it was we did. Yeah, people just toilet papered houses. Some houses got egged, but I think they kind of cracked down on the eggs. I think they kind of cut back on that like over time. I don't really remember that. Well, I remember a lot of toilet paper in trees. Totally. Whereas toilet paper, especially, I'm talking 30 years ago.
Oh yeah,
was way cheaper,
and it did grow on trees, literally.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't
and soaping people's windows. You soaped their car
all that,
windows.
But I never actually saw it happen.
Or you grabbed shaving cream and you put it on people's windows.
Yeah, see that's not a terrible idea.
Barbasol
and
is
easy to lift.
Even now, exactly. Even now, Barbasol is like $1 a can. So back then it was like
it's inflation proof.
Yeah, I know. It's people need to shave. Damn it.
Well, no, probably because everyone stopped. Everyone's got a beard now, so maybe that's why it hasn't gone up in price.
Well,
I'm like, you and I are like the only 2 out of like 11 people who shave every day.
True.
And you took a couple of years off.
I did.
So there's that.
Yeah.
But
see,
anyway.
I think that map is bullshit also, because I do know for a fact in Detroit there is Devil's Night. That's what they call the night before.
But wait a minute, there's
a highlight on Michigan. They have Devil's Night. Yes, on that map, because they pointed it out in the story as the anchor's talking about it.
And that's where the Crow was based, right?
Correct.
Yeah, there you go.
Was it in Detroit or was it in Michigan? I'm trying to remember
Detroit.
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
they got Devil's Night. Michigan is highlighted there. We have Mischief Night, and that's kind of it.
And
there's some small areas where it's like other.
See, but here's the thing. Have you ever actually looked into Devil's Night, though? Because if we think Mischief Night is crazy, Devil's Night is just anarchy. It's literally like Detroit's version of The Purge.
Yeah, it's one step below The Purge.
It is Detroit, isn't it? So let's be honest.
It's like, let's soap that car's windows. I have a better idea. Let's flip the fucking car over, set it on fire, and then soap the windows. Mm-hmm. So there you are. That's the difference.
That's
right
what
there.
The devil would do. That's more than mischief.
Yes.
Just like the show. Here at Chris Aballo's Podcast Experiment, we are more than mischief.
We're devils? Nice.
We're somewhere in between.
Somewhere
in between a dead guitar player and David S. David
S. Pumpkins.
David Z. Pumpkins.
Let's
do a legally distinct version.
All right, good enough. David Z. Pumpkin. I'm my own thing.
Very much so. I got to say, though, with the makeup, so we got off on a shock. We got off on a tangent.
No way.
But I ended up it was literally Thursday, and I said, this is Saturday. Just again, if you're watching this in the future, because it'll always be around, or listening to it when it goes out. 2 days ago, I literally was just like, I haven't heard back from anybody, and the ones I have heard back from are a no. I'm just gonna do this thing myself, and bless YouTube tutorials. A bunch of people have makeup tutorials on how to do this, and what to use. And I've never done makeup in my life.
You did fantastic.
Thank you. There's a slight addendum to that. We'll circle back to that, as they say. But I kind of went crazy yesterday going to buy makeup and brushes and all this other stuff, which I honestly, at the point when I decided I'm going to do the makeup for this costume just for the live stream, I kind of got excited about it. The idea of like, well, let me do something different and it'll be fun. And I'm going to have it forever. So even if it looks terrible, I could be like, well, I tried, everybody. But for first time, like I was going to try it yesterday. But then I was like, no, just do it fresh tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Although, frankly, I might do a second draft tomorrow and put it up on social media on Halloween itself. Just after doing it once, I kind of got the hang of it. I mean, the eyes are a little exaggerated, and some of the white has I could use a better powder.
Yeah,
so to speak. There's some other things.
A little base
foundation. Well, the cream I got it dried very fast and it started cracking, so I had to reapply literally when I got here to the store.
If you want to say that, cool. But I'm telling you right now, maybe it's just because I'm looking at how it's monitored. Mm-hmm. It's great on camera.
Okay, awesome.
Like it reads really well.
Okay.
I know in person you can be like, okay, maybe whatever, but like on camera, this looks excellent.
All right.
So
great.
There you go. Don't shatter the illusion.
No, not at all. Not at all. If anything, because I drive an hour here because again, I'm up in North Jersey, so it was an hour on the Parkway here. I do kind of wish I could see the reactions on people's faces when they hit their brake lights and saw this face, because I had everything but the mouth. I did the mouth when I got here just because I'm literally. I had a protein shake for dinner that I sipped through a straw because I don't want to mess up the makeup around the mouth. So I'm drinking my liquid death with a straw, taking dainty sips from my liquid death. And but the whole face was done otherwise, and I just kind of touched it up when I got here. But I would love to have seen the reactions of people when they hit their brake lights and saw this face, because a few people passing me, it was kind of fun on the side just to go, that was fun. I like seeing that.
I got you, but around this time of year, they shouldn't really be that surprised. Now, if they're driving down the turnpike and they take a look over and they see you like that, and it's, March, then it's like, what the fuck? That's absolutely understandable. But,
well, you would think
October
so,
29th, I don't know.
It's the Saturday before Halloween. You're telling me people are in costume and makeup?
Oh, of course. It's Saturday night. People going out to costume and Halloween parties.
Imagine that. Well,
weird. We're here podcasting, but...
Yeah, but a lot of people are out, and here we are live streaming to the socially inept, to the shut-ins, maybe a couple incels. People who aren't out on a Saturday night. Just kidding. Just
couple
kidding.
Of people who are drinking and passed out with their phones on, this YouTube
or
channel.
Parents who don't let their kids go out and trick or treat or something like that, and you're just like, go to bed. And they stumbled upon this because they're like, why not?
As they're sharpening their handheld knives,
they're like, that looks like the guy who used to be on After Walking Dead.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch this and see what happens. Is he wearing stickers?
I am the angel of death. Yes.
I imagine you driving down the highway with the makeup on, doing that shock face to people. But you know what it reminds me of? You ever seen Hollow Man? Remember?
Ages ago, like when it was new.
There's a scene in that movie where Kevin Bacon's character is just fed up and goes for a drive, and some kids are being annoying next to him, so he takes his shades off and just freaks them both out into the camera, and they're just screaming. See, I want to see you do that.
I want to do that. I'm not going to wash the makeup off when we're done here. I am going to wear it home. But I was minding my P's and Q's on the road because I have a little bit of a complex, because I believe it was the first live show we did at a Shared Universe Bellworks last April. I almost got in a car accident on the way there. Maybe it was the one we did in July. I don't remember, the midnight one. But I came so close to getting into an accident that I do have a little bit of a complex about nope, I'm just going to try to get here and do the live show, because all we need is for me, of all people. I mean, one of the supporting cast, who cares? But the host doesn't get to show up for the live show. It's a big deal. Yeah. But you live within spitting distance, so I wasn't worried about you. I was worried about local construction around the Red Bank area that you might hit. So we started late anyway. But on the way home, I might play up to that, because I'm not going to wash the makeup off when I leave here. So I'm going to wear this home. I may pop into Wawa, get myself a sandwich, because I'll be starving, because all I have is a protein shake. So we shall see. But I got it.
Too bad it's not like a Wawa out, towards the boonies where, hillbillies, even the New Jersey hillbillies.
So I can get shot?
No, you won't get shot. They'll be like, what you doing here, boy? Hey, it ain't Mischief Night no more.
I'm going to be like, by the way, if my facial expressions seem a little stilted, I didn't get Botox. It's just the makeup is dry, so I'm not able to fully smile and all that.
You look like Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. It's like my face is pulled so tight I look like I'm flying on the wing of an airplane.
And can we ask about that too?
Sure.
That whole Nancy Pelosi thing?
I mean,
isn't that weird?
It's fucked up.
It's
insanely
really
fucked up.
That is so fucked up that her husband is like getting his head like glued back together because some dude went after him with a hammer.
Right. That's I don't even know. I don't know. Not to get off on a tear about, No.
I'm not getting political. I'm getting that's just weird.
No, it is. The idea to go after like him and wait for her to get home is like, that's some Strangers level shit. Like The Strangers.
Yeah.
Which is a great movie. Tough watch, but great movie.
Also, sort of The Warriors too. Nancy, come out to play.
That's true.
My God.
Dude. I don't know. That stuff is like, it's crazy that element exists in society. I mean, unfortunately, we've seen that when it comes to people just trolling into places, with guns and just opening fire in stores and in church and, like all that other stuff. And it's just like, it's insane that element exists now. I mean, I would hope we would have evolved away from it. But then again, I'm in the makeup aisle yesterday getting weird looks, which is just bizarre because it's 2022. Who cares if a man's in a makeup aisle? Am I right? So
you could have been, I could
have been shopping for anybody.
You could have been shopping for, yeah. And who gives a shit?
Exactly. But there's some women who are like, what? I'm not here for you. I'm here for powder puff.
And not only that, I need some of that grease and butter. Where's the grease and butter?
Yeah.
Where's that flavored grease and butter?
If nothing else, canola. I got to slip into these leather pants.
Yeah,
all right?
come on.
Whatever you got.
And
body butter, something?
Judging you.
Where's the body butter?
Pains in the asses. But that element, it had to have been here, like, this kind of psychosis had to have been around even back in, like, the 1700s.
You're right.
But did we just let them... It's weird when you think about it.
We were dunking women in water for being smart. I'd say yes.
Yeah, we were lighting women on fire in the town square.
Which is...
she's a witch.
But, it's horrible now, and it's just fucked up.
I'm reading about that today because I wasn't really on social media or anything yesterday, so I was kind of catching up on some things this afternoon, and I'm just like, I really don't know kind of what to think about where we are. We're in a strange period in history right now. I really don't know.
Certainly are. It's very, yes, it's quite odd.
Yeah, speaking of odd, someone's tuning into this, and we're literally talking about an attack on the speaker's husband, and we look like this.
Yeah, I know.
People are gonna be like,
I can actually account for my whereabouts yesterday, folks. So, or Thursday.
Well, not so much that, just the idea of like costume lunatics talking about.
Oh, sure.
Listen, society's fucked up.
Can you imagine? Weird. We should go out and fight crime tonight. That would be fucked up. Like, holy shit, man. I was about to rob Tiffany's down the street, but I was stopped by the Crow and David S. Pumpkins. What the fuck, man? Holy shit. Who knew David S. Pumpkins was a fucking vigilante? And it's like, there are a couple of us who knew, man.
He was coming after me with a colonoscopy camera.
Jesus. Yeah.
He was threatening to check
I don't think he was cleaned either.
He was threatening to check me for polyps.
Oh, why do I smell like shit?
Okay, now the makeup's breaking. The makeup is dry. It's like my
now
mouth movements are inhibited. I know. But hopefully on camera, it still looks great.
You're going to look like the Joker instead of the Crow.
I was running down. I'm like, if this looks terrible, it's like, okay, I'm the Joker? Possibly. Because it was consideration, but so many people do the Heath Ledger Joker. I'm like, nah, because like the hair length and everything.
Right,
I'm like, I can just get some green,
sure.
just spray and, do that. Because it's kind of dark and it's kind of, it would work. Sorry, I'm touching my face.
I'm touching my face.
I got practice about that with that yesterday, but anyway.
You'd think after COVID he would have known better.
No, I was in an MRI tube yesterday for an hour, but getting old. But that's a follow-up, actually, from...
Seriously, you couldn't have had... Hey, listen, while you're down there, Sparky, while I'm in this tube, can you check out my pooper? I know it's about 9 years early, but let's just do it, shall we?
They're not in the same office, right? That'd be weird.
Doesn't matter. Flip me over. Let's get this over with. That's all.
I'm not an omelet.
You might be.
Not yet, I'm not.
All right. Well, you got to crack some eggs.
You speak for yourself.
All right.
That's right. No more Mischief Night. No more eggs.
All right.
What the fuck are we talking about? There's no show like Cape. There really isn't. This show is
thank God. By law, folks, there's no show like Cape.
I know. Like, no wonder we took such a long break.
Yeah.
It's like, man, we need to refill the tank. You guys have a tank? Yes.
Not even.
No, see, I'd be down for trying to fight crime, early sneaking up on people if we weren't doing this tonight.
Right.
But now people know, like, we're out there. Or they'll be able to refer back to, like, oh, not only did they look like that, they were talking about that they were going to go fight crime.
And here's the thing. Yeah, they
were
pretty much confessed.
Foil Devil's Night hijinks.
Yeah, they pretty much confessed, and it was so fucked up. And he said something about a colonoscopy camera. And Christian would be, like, following, doing... What would you be doing, Christian? Would you be...
He'd be filming us.
Could you give us, like,
He would be like Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to sell these to
No, I'm in the superhero crew. I'm Captain Comfortable.
All right, yeah,
Captain
there you
Comfortable.
go.
I'll beat you. Hey
guys, wait up! Let me get some footage.
You're a piece of shit. You know that? I'll beat you to death with a flip flop.
Oh my God!
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God! That's going in the best of Cape. I know it is. I know it is. Just holy fuck.
Well, listen, He did laugh when I made fun of him last time. When I did
That's
that
true.
highly insensitive impression of him. Now he's
That
just
is-
sad.
that is-
Now he's sad and comfortable Christian. I'm sorry.
Sad and slightly less comfortable Christian.
All right, now he's getting very insecure. We're going to have to pivot to something else. You took a trip to Maryland.
I did. I went to Maryland. I actually, my wife and the assistant manager here at the Secret Stash, we left Wednesday and went down to Maryland because Diamond Comics, who is the largest outfitter of comic book shops, they give us a lot of what you see in a comic shop is what we get.
Got it.
Comics, trade paperbacks, the accoutrement, like the statuary, some of our other really cool stuff.
65 Broad Street, Red Bank, New Jersey.
Beautiful. Thank you, Chris. That crow statue up there, which
Get the fuck out. I didn't even notice that.
There's a crow statue
That's
up there.
fantastic.
That's quacktastic.
Do I get that?
You get that.
You get
with,
that for the cost of what's
for the
$150.
it's only $50.
Is it 50?
Yeah, it's $50.
See, I got makeup in my eyes.
Good.
I can't see shit.
He's got stars in his eyes, folks. So we went down there. They had a retailer summit, which oddly enough,
rocking good.
it does sound kind of boring, but it really wasn't. They had the opening night ceremony at the Hard Rock Cafe, and it was actually really, really fun.
Whereabouts in Maryland? Is it Baltimore?
It was in the Inner Harbor, Baltimore.
Nice.
So we're in the Inner Harbor. We're at the
Getting fat on crab cakes.
no, actually, they didn't have. I didn't eat there. We ate at one of the places around. We had they had pickle fries, deep fried pickle fries. Oh my god, it's amazing. And
Sounds pretty awesome.
And crab pretzels.
Holy shit.
I know, soft pretzels filled with
That's fantastic.
like a crab cake or the crab that she spread.
Right.
So,
Dude,
I
I need to go to Maryland. I've been through Maryland so many times. I haven't actually spent
Maryland's
a day
actually
hanging out.
fun to go to Baltimore. It's not like crime ridden, but there's an element of danger there. I mean, you're walking down the street and you're accosted by like 5 homeless guys all at once.
So every night's Devil's Night in Baltimore.
Exactly. It's hey, you got $1? You got $5? My mom's in the hospital. I just had to go bury my daughter's hamster. Can you give me $5 to get her a new one? It's like, sure. Lie to your kid on your own fucking time, not on my dime, buddy.
Right.
So, so we went down there, and it was a lot of
$5
fun.
to buy a hamster. How are you going to feed it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, with the
me and my stupid logic.
with the dead hamster, that
Well, the dead hamster, you don't need any food,
you
so the
parse
guy could pocket the $5.
you
Get
parse
himself
it
a
out.
tall boy.
No, you parse out the hamster and make hamster jerky for the other hamster.
Hamster tacos.
Damn straight, you can do a whole bunch of them.
You know, all kinds of stuff.
There's a cookbook in there someplace.
gotta-
So, we went there. It was great. We actually traded ideas with people, and they have new technologies coming out that help comic book stores to survive and thrive in these challenging times. And we got to meet a lot of people. We were down there, and one of the keynotes, actually the keynote speaker, was Dan DiDio, who was the head of DC Comics for about 15 years.
Nice.
And he's partnering up with another guy that I never thought I'd meet, Frank Miller. The Frank Miller, who gave us Sin City. He gave us the movie The Spirit. He did RoboCop 2, if you remember that swearing thing.
RoboCop 2 was fun.
RoboCop 2 was that little kid who cursed like me. The fucking kid cursed like me.
This is true.
I loved that kid.
Yeah.
Grew
Which
up
is good. See, you know what it is? It's like, I feel like RoboCop 2 is like Predator 2, where it's like, it's impossible to beat the original, but on its own is still a strong movie. Like, it's a fun watch. If you take it out of like, well, okay, you can't one up Predator, but Predator 2 is a fun movie. Like, that's a fun watch. Same with RoboCop 2. It's like taken on its own. It doesn't have, the satirical elements and the extreme violence, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's a solid movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good watch. So I feel like RoboCop 2 doesn't, maybe now it'll get its due.
I'm
Some point.
hoping, yeah.
But that's one people are just like, but you can't make a sequel to RoboCop. It's like, well, actually they did.
They did.
Of them.
And RoboCop 3 just sucked balls.
It's not. Yeah.
No,
it was Iron Man before Iron Man.
Eminently unwatchable is what that is.
I'd agree with that. And I was like 13 when that movie came out too, and like age appropriate, and I still didn't care.
Just to get off topic,
Sure.
this weekend is Chiller Theater. Folks, you have one more day to get to Chiller tomorrow. You can go. Chiller Theater is up in Secaucus. Christian, are you pulling up the guest list? I think Peter Weller is there this weekend.
Really?
Yes, sir. I know Christy Brinkley was here, was at Chiller today.
Really?
Yes.
Just
What do you got, Christian? Who's there?
Chrissy Brinkley, Cheech Marin,
Cheech Marin.
Deep Roy.
Deep Roy. Deep Fried Roy. Love it. He played all of the Oompa Loompas in the Charlie
Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
unpopular opinion. I like that movie better than Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Really?
Yes, I know. A very unpopular opinion. But
Very popular opinion. I thought it sucked balls compared to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory I look at as just like a stoner's wet dream. Like I always thought that movie was just too fucking weird.
That's what I loved about it.
And people, and I get that, but like people also revere it as like this classic. It was a huge flop when it came out. Of
course it was.
Everybody acts like, like this is a classic. It became one eventually, but don't look at it as like from day one it was. It took like 15 years for people to actually appreciate the movie.
That's because you have to realize that was in 1974.
Yes.
Between 1974 and 1983, it did not see the fucking light of day.
Totally.
They didn't show it anywhere. And it wasn't on TV, it was not a beloved an Easter classic the way that
Right. It was like
Wizard of Oz was.
It was like early 90s. I remember Warner had that imprint for the movies. It was like family movies, and it had Bugs Bunny kind of leaning on the Warner Brothers shield.
Yeah.
They reissued a bunch of stuff, like even the animated Hobbit movie that I didn't even know existed until I saw this VHS thing.
Oh, that thing was fucking sick, too.
I think it was part of that launch where like it was just kind of a branding thing. Because then I remember seeing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I was like, what is this? This is the Waco Kid in it. Like I'd seen Blazing Saddles before I saw Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory because I have great parents.
But no, they had the Willy Wonka came out in like 83, 84. I remember when it came out on VHS. I was like, yes, finally, because
it'd been a decade
since
since you've seen it.
and
This better be as
and it was
highly
like,
entertaining as I remember.
This was so entertaining because I saw it over at the Count Basie used to be the Carlton Theater. And they used to show movies. You used to get to go see double features there.
Oh,
I saw Star Wars at the Count Basie.
First time out?
First time out,
Really?
yeah. In 1978.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
That was awesome. Just seeing it on that big screen. I was up in
On
the
a screen that big, yeah.
Well, back in the day, that was the screen to watch.
Oh,
it. I was
totally.
Like, so, yeah.
No, that's a nice theater when they show movies.
Oh, I love it.
Really, really cool.
But Peter Weller's going to be there. Deep Roy, who else?
Is that it? Cheech?
Yeah, come on, Cheech.
Let's see.
I'm calling him Cheech. Saying Cheech is going to be at the.
I was calling him Cheech because I don't know.
Because that's racial.
I was not
Slightly
going.
racial.
I wasn't going Rachel. I wasn't going.
Jennifer Aniston's going to be
I
there.
wasn't going to go Friends. No, you will never see one of the Friends at a convention.
Really?
I doubt that. I doubt it highly because they're still getting so much money.
They still get seven figures just
from the reruns. Oh my God!
Around the world.
It is
like
lunacy.
There's a few of those. Like The Office is something that like was co-opted, where everybody kind of each country created their own because workplace culture was very much it's a different.
It's
thing.
its own thing. Right.
But like Friends, and I believe the same with Big Bang Theory, just plays all the time, all over the world, and it's not been reformatted. But I mean, Friends is perfect because it's like. Yuppies, and it's New York, and there's that romanticism for the rest of the world. It's like New York City, all right.
But for
all
me,
these people, 6 people live in a loft. But anyway.
For me, I'm like, I never liked Friends. I don't know about
same.
you.
Oh God, no. I was talking about this recently-ish with somebody. I had I mean, not like there's a statute of limitations on this kind of thing, and I'll obviously let people keep their anonymity, but so back. When I lived in California the first time when I was going to school, this is back in 2006 to 2008, and I lived with my girlfriend at the time. I moved out there first to go to school, and then she moved out there after my first quarter at school. So, because I kind of wanted to get in the rhythm. Anyway, we were not together long enough to justify moving in together. It was strictly because I was moving across the country, and it's like, well, this is where I'm going to be, so you're going to have to be there if you want to be with me. So, anyway, didn't have as much overlap in the things we like as you would want somebody to have, particularly if you're living together. And there was a whole thing where one of her rules for me was, this sounds really ridiculous, and I hadn't thought about it in a long time, but I was talking about, failed relationships with somebody recently. And at the same time, this is one of those things where only because you're young enough to be this stupid to go along with it. But it was also like, well, we're living together. What am I getting? Like, am I going to die on this hill? No. She thought Monty Python was the stupidest thing ever and would not let me. And again, I went along with it in early 20s. That's the only reason I went along with it. I was naive enough to be like, okay. But wouldn't let me watch Monty Python in the house while she was home, even in another room. Because we had a TV in the bedroom and a TV in the living room. She didn't even want me like going in the bedroom to watch Monty Python while she was home. Hated it that much. But meanwhile, loved Friends. Always, Friends was always running. Especially this is pre streaming and on demand. Right. And I don't think she had the DVDs or anything, but it was always running on some basic cable channel. And sit and watch Friends with me. No, I don't like Friends. And then I got if you really loved me, you would sit and watch Friends with me. I'm like, if you really loved me, you wouldn't make me watch Friends with you.
If you really loved me, you would let me watch Monty Python.
No. But see, that kind of logic did not work on her. No. I wish it had, and I'm sure I said it a bunch of times, which I even tried, incidentally, like she did, she happened to walk in while I was watching Fawlty Towers one day, and she did love that. I mean, I rewatched the whole series with her. Well, I've seen it 100 times.
Of course, it's brilliant.
Genius. It is genius. I want to write something that's at least 10% that funny. I'm telling you, John Cleese is one of my writing heroes. And I was like, see, and he's from Monty Python. Still would not go near Monty Python. I'm like, but anyway.
Did she ever watch A Fish Called Wanda?
I don't remember if we did. See, that's in my top 10 movies of all time.
Gotcha,
so
yeah.
I probably, I want to say, we must have, because I said no, it's, you like Fawlty Towers and he wrote this too. And I would think so. I don't remember. But yeah, it was one of those things talking about just people who were in a good match. That was kind of the conversation that was going on. And
most of the people,
Friends isn't funny.
No, Friends sucks. Most of the people who I know who have stutters don't like A Fish Called Wanda because of Ken. Which they loved Ken, but they hated Otto.
Because he
makes
I'm like, fun of.
Yeah, that's the whole point. But you're supposed to hate Otto.
Spoiler alert, Otto gets his comeuppance for making fun of Ken.
Of course. It's Ken coming to kill me. Genius. It's like, yes. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's Kevin Klein.
Yes.
So, and you know what, growing up, I had a stammer myself.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, lazy mind, and, that's, you find tricks around it. But, yeah, I stammered like a motherfucker as a child. So...
And now you're making up for that clear speech by
goddamn sons of bitches.
Talking.
Yeah, talking.
Which I exploit for my
profit.
I wish.
If you make profit off me, God bless you. You earned them liquid death.
That's right. But you saw me pandering.
But yeah, Friends sucks. Most of the people who were on Friends, like Matthew Perry, ended up becoming even more grossly exaggerated parodies of themselves.
If you look at the character they played, you're saying, or of
him as a human being became even more of a gross exaggeration than, because he went on, he left Friends after Friends. Mm-hmm. He went on to do Studio 60, which I love as a concept.
Yeah, that had just launched when I moved out to LA. There was this poster. Wow, I haven't thought about that
Aaron
show.
Sorkin.
Yeah.
Was it really?
It was Aaron Sorkin, yeah.
Oh, shit.
And it was...
I remember saying there was that in Poseidon. The Poseidon remake was coming out. Those were the posters all over when I moved in March of 2006 to LA the first time.
But I remember Aaron Sorkin, and I was very excited about this because there was 30 Rock, and then Studio 60, live from the Sunset Strip. And I was like, that was the one that NBC was like, we're throwing all of our fucking... everything behind. Yeah. And, Tina Fey is like, what about me, guys? What about me? And they're like, fuck you, Tina Fey.
Right.
We've got Studio 60. And it didn't make it through one season.
Yeah, they got 10 or 12, I think. I remember it was gone.
They were done. They're like, see you later. And it was a well-written show, but it was a comedy show. It was a show about a comedy show. And they forgot to put in the fucking funny.
Really?
That's the thing that boggled my mind. There was absolutely no charm or humor to it. It was all angsty and Very.
So it wasn't even self-aware as a show about show business?
No.
Oh,
No.
that sucks.
There was, and it had a great cast. It had Bradley Whitford, and
Yes.
I loved the concept, but the execution was not so great. And it had, oh my God, she was in.
I mean, he was the biggest. I remember Matthew Perry was in it. It was just like, oh, this is the biggest name.
Judd Hirsch was in the pilot, and he played the
Amanda Peet?
Amanda Peet
Amanda
was in
Peet,
it. Yes.
that's right.
Sarah Paulson, D.L.
Sarah
Hughley?
Paulson, that's it. She was great, but she could have been funnier. And they got a bunch of their NBC like buddies to do shit. Like Christine Lottie was very big at that time because she had just come off of Chicago Hope. Christine Lottie, yeah, that's her.
Oh, right.
And
wow.
I mean, they got oh my God, Gilmore Girls, Lauren Graham. They had people playing themselves as like the guest hosts. They come in like, and you got.
So was it supposed to be like an SNL kind of?
Yes,
thing?
it was very, very loosely based on Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
and this guy.
Someone just describes it. Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip as a show people love to hate watch.
Yes, that's exactly it. I love to watch it because I love to pull it apart. It's so fucked up because you're watching and you're like, all right, this should have been funny. This should have, if you had injected, instead of being like so arrogant about yourself and trying to be self-aware and trying to like rip off the scabs of like Saturday Night Live. I mean, I am sure that somebody from SNL like really hurt Aaron Sorkin at one point. I'm sure it was Lauren
Michaels.
Lauren Michaels. Lauren Michaels probably shit in Aaron Sorkin's fruit punch. So that's probably why he's like, I'm gonna get this guy back. But it
didn't have the teeth it should have.
It was just self-aware enough to know that it should have been funny, but it wasn't, and it was arrogant. It was more arrogant than anything else, and I was like, "Fuck!" and yes, it is. Because you're sitting there going, "I want to love this show because it's got all the elements that you're supposed to have for as a show to love." You had everything there. You had a guy who's a genius at writing, but bring in smart people to make it funny.
Or just funny people to make it funny, just to punch up, something.
Well,
give it a little.
You have to be a certain amount of smarts.
Oh no, I agree, but still,
Yeah.
like get comedians and things like that.
Well,
to come
they
in just
they got some of the guys from Kids in the Hall. Mark McKinney. There's a Mark McKinney was in there, I believe. Yes, he actually played one of the guys who came into the writers' room, and I was like, oh my God, I remember him from Kids in the Hall. I loved him. I loved Kids in the Hall. It was brilliant. Yep. And he was sort of playing himself, but not autobiographically, because here's this guy who's like, "Hey, I'm your new comedy writer," and he's very depressed because his family passed away, and they all died in a fire or something. I was like, "What the fuck? How is that funny?" And it had just so much talent there, and just so wasted, and but that's what Matthew Perry was. He was the guy that he was in the in that show, and he was so arrogant about himself. He's like, I can write this show myself, and then you find out that him, David Schwimmer, same thing. He's just like, because he actually did something on 30 Rock. He was Funzo or Greenzo. I'm Greenzo the Green, and it's like, motherfucker, I bet you think your shit don't stink. And yeah, sure enough.
Well, it's one of those things where this is my theory, and without getting into some stories, you all have to buy the autobiography for that.
Please do.
But eventually, it's not being written or anything. I wish. Well, it isn't. But anyway, I'm not talking about my my show business experiences just yet. Anyway, I think it's one of those things where success amplifies what's already there. Like, you need to be a certain type anyway. Like, if you are a douchebag, you're just going to be a bigger douchebag when you're successful. If you're a nice guy, you're just going to be, or a nice woman, if you're a nice person, you're just going to be that much better the more successful you get. Because
Guy is gender neutral, so you can say that.
Well, I'm just,
Gotcha.
just covering all bases.
Gotcha.
But it's one of those things where I feel like it already has to be there.
Yeah.
Before anybody, I mean, that's kind of being, just to we rarely get topical on the show, but just to kind of touch on, again, something I just saw because I kind of wasn't paying attention to any kind of media or news this week. But yeah, it's like Matthew Perry's talking about, making out with Valerie Bertinelli and, while Eddie Van Halen was passed out drunk and everything. I don't know if you saw that. In his book comes out, I think next week. I think it comes out November 1st.
Why does he need to say shit like that?
Because maybe he's actually a douchebag. And I'm not saying, I'm saying maybe because people are not happy about that because they're like, wow, you don't put that kind of shit in your, relationships or name people, that where stuff happened in your autobiography. So it's actually really turning people off to his book and to him, which is why it's funny that you brought that up because, again, I'm just reading this the other day. I'm like, what? What the hell is this? Because they were in a movie, a TV show, which I remember growing up, Sydney. It was a short-lived sitcom on CBS. She was like a private investigator, I think. Again, okay. I didn't remember. I remember the name of the show and I remember she was in it because I remember catching, it was during like a weekday or something. I guess there's no school and one day at a time reruns were on. I was like, hey, it's Sydney. Random, but that was me as a kid.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah, well, I stayed home and watched a lot of TV.
Gotcha.
I wasn't an athletic kid. I was clearly weird. Look at me now. Some people don't grow out of it, but
they just learn how to do the makeup to make you look great at doing it.
Makeup. No, I just didn't go out in the sun as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So, the black makeup, yes. But anyway. Apparently, because she played like his younger brother or something like that. And he writes in the book that, they made out while Eddie Van Halen was passed out drunk like one night. He was at their house. And it's like, wow. Okay. So it's interesting that you say something like that because it makes me, again, that kind of reinforces the theory that I have from people I've come across where it's like, oh, so you were a douche anyway. And this is just, you feel more empowered to just be douchey because that's who you are and you didn't have to get rid of that to become insanely successful. So you just doubled and tripled down on it.
That's so sad. And it really is. So, I
didn't read, I know she's responded to it in some classy way. I didn't see what it was.
I'm sure she's like, and she shouldn't have to respond to it at all because
you wouldn't think so.
Shouldn't have been brought up because,
right.
No,
that's not cool.
Yeah. And his kid's still around,
Yeah.
That's got to be like, really, Mom? Even if it's not true, even if Matthew Perry's making this bullshit up, which, maybe.
But if it did happen to Aaron, like for what? What's the hope?
Nothing.
Sell
why 100,000 more copies?
I guess. But at the same time, you're stuck with that as far as like, well, this is going to be my story.
Yeah, and
it's like
I'm the guy that enticed Eddie Van Halen's wife to cheat on him.
Yeah,
which is not a noble aspiration.
No,
not at all.
Not at all.
So, yeah. So
no, I'm with you.
Good for you, Matthew Perry. Good for you. If you just wanted to fucking brag, you should have done it to Bradley Whitford and, in the middle. Hey, guess who I made out with when I was on Sydney? And Bradley Whitford looking at him like, the fuck is Sydney?
Yeah, right? Why are you telling me this?
Yeah, seriously. Do I know you?
I think Craft Services is here. I'm going to grab a bagel.
Yeah.
I'll see you later, Matt.
Yeah, Matthew.
Or
it just calls him Perry. That's right, Perry. This is douche. Just calls him douchebag. Hey, what's up, douche?
Hey, douche. Oh, that'd be really funny in a show. Someone just hates. See, we got to write a self-aware show. We should write a show that takes place in a comic book shop. A fictional one. There already was a reality show about
douche. Yeah, I know.
It's like, hey, douche.
And that could be the name of the...
Hey, douche.
Yeah, that's the name of the show. Hey, douche.
That might be all right. Sorry for banging on the table.
No, that's fine.
Well, no, to anybody listening, just like, ow. Yeah. I was driving their car, listened to this, like, shit.
They're like, wait a minute. What'd you do, douche?
I have to ask.
Yes.
Because you shared... You don't post much on the socials, although you did plug this, and I appreciate that.
I do.
But,
really.
You went and ate at Cracker Barrel.
I did.
Sincerely or ironically? Because there's a lot of Cracker Barrel hate that I don't understand. I enjoy some Cracker Barrel.
I have no idea what the fuck the Cracker Barrel
I figured, I'm like, he probably sincerely went. Like, I don't think it was a goof.
No, we go, it became like my family tradition because we used to drive down every once in a while. My wife grew up in South Jersey, and we would go down to see her parents like every fucking weekend when we first got married. When we first started dating, because she used to go down there all the time to help out with them because they lived on a farm, and not like Ma and Pa Kent, but her father was like creeping up on, he was in his mid 80s when I first met the man.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a huge, pardon me, I'm sorry, I was a little burpy from my liquid death.
There's a huge, like, wow, really is a Halloween show all of a sudden.
There was a huge age gap between
His father, mother, her father, mother,
yeah,
right?
her father and mother. Her father was like 21 years older than.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So she was 24, and he 24? No, she was 26, and he was 47 when they got married. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, really insane.
Not unheard of, but in my head, I'm like,
Amish?
but I'm just like,
or Mormon?
I'm 41 now, and I'm like, I don't know what I would talk to a 22-year-old about, period. But I mean, this is a different time.
I suppose. Back then, yeah, I mean, fucking candles were like high tech.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess that's it. It's just
Yeah.
like, I could give you 3 squares a day. All right, I'll marry you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably all there was.
Did you hear about this newfangled electricity?
Yeah.
So we would go
it's
down
a
there.
television. They transport little people into this screen right in your living
And
room.
they talk to you.
And they talk to you.
Directly.
They perform. It's crazy. There's a little Ed Sullivan, everyone's TV.
Little Lawrence Welk. So we would go and
Deep cut.
Yeah, thank you. We would Deep Roy. We would go down there, and every once in a while we'd stop at the Cracker Barrel because I mean, who doesn't fucking love Cracker Barrel? You go into the gift shop, and it wasn't even like a thing for us. It just every once in a while. And when our kids were born, we used to take them obviously with us. To go down and take care of her parents in their failing health and older age, and then we started to go on trips as a family, not exclusively to
Not just to
their
go to
house,
Cracker
yeah.
Barrel.
No, not just to go to their house, but
Okay.
we would go down and we'd put together like a comics crawl where I would go hunting for the stash. And it was, the kids would come with me, and it was a lot of fun. We'd go to like 5 different comic shops around, a general area. And if there was a Cracker Barrel there, we would go. And it became a tradition where we'd go and just have one, have a Cracker Barrel, and just go and have a Cracker Barrel. That's right. And I love me some country fried chicken. There is nothing like if I'm at a diner, I will try the country fried steak.
Really?
Country fried steak, country fried chicken. Actually, I'm more of a country fried steak. If you can get country fried steak and eggs with the what do they call it? The sawmill gravy.
I'm trying to remember. I've been to Cracker Barrel since I drove. It's been 4 years since I drove back from California.
Well, it's like the white gravy with the black pepper on it.
Right.
So
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just don't recall the name.
But and it became a family thing. So we're driving down, and we start getting a little bit hungry, and my wife's like, Cracker Barrel. I'm like, Cracker Barrel, let's go. So we ended up at a Cracker Barrel.
Sweet.
And my wife loves it because of the kitschiness of it, and it's a tradition. It's something we do. And yeah, I was seeing like people like, no, say it ain't so. I'm like,
Right? That's what I'm saying.
I'm like,
why the Cracker Barrel hate?
Yeah, seriously, it's like, what if I had gone to a McDonald's? Would I have gotten as much hate for that too if I'm eating a Big Mac? Probably not, because it's a little bit more acceptable. I don't know. I don't think Cracker Barrel ever did anything like overtly horrible to anyone.
I think it's a regional thing. I think like around here nobody gets it, whereas Cracker Barrel, it's kind of like Waffle House.
Yeah.
Like when you go to every other state in the union, and there's a Waffle House around or several, and people are just like, oh, Waffle House. Like Waffle House is great. I love grits. I always get grits when I go to Waffle House. And it's one of those things where I just think they don't get it because we don't really have them around it. I mean, there's one Cracker Barrel. I think it's in Hamilton.
Yeah,
it's the one that's in.
That's
Jersey.
the one we used to go to.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah, down off of like 120. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to pass by for a short period. I worked in Princeton, so I used to pass by there on when I'd be on 95 headed west.
Exactly.
Anyway, or 195, whatever. But yeah, like it's one of those things. I just don't think they get it around here, where they're like, why? Like, why would you go to Cracker? Like, why is there a gift shop in a restaurant? Or like,
that's cool.
Oh, it's country food. It's like, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I dig it. And at the same time, I like having stuff that's just non-traditional because, look, we get all the pizza and subs and all that stuff, that's not indigenous to New Jersey, but let's say known for food that's Jersey's known for around here. Yeah. I mean, more or less.
Yeah.
And, but to have something different, to have like a country fried steak or something I mean, you can get them at diners, but I like it. I'm down with Cracker Barrel and I'm down with Waffle House. And I like the idea that there is something different, but that's also me. Like I also like trying. It's
also
stuff,
consistency.
Yeah.
You get that. Yeah. If you go into a Waffle House, you know that you don't go in the bathroom and wash your hands because somebody vomited into that sink.
Of course.
In the past, half an hour. You know that. So that's the consistency. It's right there. It's like
I'm good.
I'm all right.
I got my sanitizer in the car.
I may have pissed on my hands, but I'm not going to wash it in the sink.
But the sink will only make it worse.
Exactly.
Believe it or not.
It will, because somebody either vomited or pissed in that sink. So
you bring up something too that actually it's something I thought about. Like it's kind of strange that
I've always wanted to piss in a Waffle House sink.
No, but vomit. No, they're all over the road again. No other show like this, folks. But I'm surprised it actually has come up in even socially when we've talked about it. But you bring up something that I miss more and more as time goes on, and that is the hunt. Because I used to go on the hunt for music all the time, and eventually DVDs in the early to mid 2000s. I'm talking 2002 to 2005. Obviously, you did it for comics and for collectibles and things like that.
I also did it for DVDs.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So I know the thrill.
I loved it. I used to go into these, store. I mean, I had a friend who would take me into the city all the time. We'd always go to concerts together in the early 2000s. I mean, after I turned 18, you couldn't keep me out of, Manhattan until until I moved to Los Angeles. But I miss being able to go to a place and just dig through what they have, because nobody really has. I mean, it's hard to find record stores period anymore, and none of them are buying used stuff because people aren't shopping for used stuff. Because I have a bunch of stuff I've just been selling on eBay for like peanuts, just DVDs and even Blu-ray stuff I've upgraded. Then I'm like, well, I don't need this, but if I can sell it to somebody for $2, I don't want it to go to waste.
Gotcha. But it's also the physical. There has been a drop off in physical media, but there's been a resurgence, behind the scenes of vinyl, of DVDs, of Blu-ray.
Right.
They don't make VHS anymore.
Right.
And now they're doing it on demand, which I think is really insane, but cool.
I think because people started to realize that streaming is not going to be a forever thing, especially when it comes to content libraries.
Oh yeah.
Where I finally won the argument with a buddy where I was like, physical media is the superior medium, and forever he was like, no, it's not. It's the worst.
Right.
Until he had a vast library of things on Amazon that he bought, and then one day he logged in after HBO Max did the reshuffle,
right,
and like half of his library was gone.
Yeah, because that's the thing. People are like, oh, I'll buy it digitally. You don't own it. You have a license to watch it while it's available. Because that happened. A couple of Warner Brothers titles, have disappeared completely. Even a few independent movies, just because they lose their distribution. So you can buy a movie digitally for $9.99, but if that movie is no longer available digitally, it's going to go away unless you've downloaded it locally and put it on a device. Sorry, it's gone. You don't own it.
Yep.
But you can buy something physical. I mean, that just happened to me. I literally just, the other day, felt like watching Beverly Hills Cop. And, I watch it regularly. It's one of my favorites, a very influential movie since I was 7 years old. Again, my parents were really cool. But they'll be on here too, by the way. I've been saying for a long time, like I'm going to interview my mom and dad. That's happening in November, so stay tuned. But anyway, I was just like, it's probably on Paramount Plus. Like, I'll watch it. And I put it on, and I'm just like, the Blu-ray definitely looks better, because I'm gonna shout out, Paramount in particular, because they're putting a lot into their physical media. They actually are still pumping out catalog titles, and they licensed hundreds of catalog titles to Kino Lorber, who's who makes Blu-rays and DVDs and 4K now. And even that, like the idea that they're making that stuff available to somebody else to make a physical version of is great. And so they did 4K remasters of the 3 Beverly Hills Cop movies, including the 2 good ones. And I bought it. It was a trilogy set, which is crazy. The trilogy Blu-ray is like $10. So pick it up, by the way, folks. Like if you like even the first movie, it's a steal for $10
if you can find it.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. And it looks gorgeous, and it looks so much better than the digital version. Because I'm just on the scene in the back of the, with the truckload of cigarettes. In the beginning, I'm like, this does not look as good. I mean, I hadn't watched the Blu-ray since probably last year, maybe 2020. Maybe I watched the 3 of them. I remember I watched all 3 of them, so it may have been during lockdown even. And I'm like, this does not look as good as the Blu-ray. I popped in the Blu-ray, so much better.
Of course.
And that's just where I'm at, because people say like, oh, what a waste of money. Because I buy physical stuff, like, oh, why don't you just stream it? I'm like, no, if I want, I own more stuff than I probably should. I too much when it comes to, movies in particular. But people just like, yeah, but you can just stream everything. I'm like, but you can't.
That's not true. Dogma.
You can't. Exactly. And who has a Dogma Blu-ray? Me. I can watch it anytime I want. Well, obviously, you have an in. But you probably got it anyway at the time.
I did.
I happened to find it at my favorite record store, which I miss more and more every day, Vintage Vinyl. They had a new Blu-ray for like $5.99, and I was like, "What the fuck is this doing here? Brand new."
Did you know Joe from Vintage Vinyl? One of the managers over there.
I'm sure I did. I wasn't on like a first.
He
name
works
basis.
next door.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yes, sir.
That's funny. I mean,
So
good
wait,
for
how
him.
are you finding newer copies of Dogma on a Blu-ray? Is it
Dude, this is a couple of years
Yes,
ago.
it's
This
going
is
back.
no.
Oh,
This didn't just
okay.
happen. No, the store closed last July.
And the DVD or the Blu-rays, that's a long time ago.
Oh, definitely.
So, yeah.
No, that's been out of print for a while. Although, fun fact, Dogma was one of the first 4 DVDs I ever bought, the 2-disc special edition. Well, it was a gift, actually. I got a DVD player from my coworkers chipped in and bought me one Christmas of 2001. And one of my friends got me, it was a very solid collection. It was, this one, 2-disc special editions were a big deal and also valuable at the time because they were actually limited. The Dogma 2-disc special edition, Monty Python the Holy Grail 2-disc special edition, Shrek 2-disc special edition, which was a brand new movie at the time, and Willow had just come out on DVD for a special edition. Those are my first 4 DVDs. What a lineup to start with.
My first DVD was Suicide Kings.
I owned that on DVD.
Of course you do,
I
because
did.
it was one of the only DVDs that were out. There were like 5 of them when DVDs first came out, because I was beta when DVD players first came out. So I was like, cool. And for some reason, do you remember DVDs were like really cheap in the beginning?
Yeah.
Like
they were like
$10.
Yeah. Oh, that was like a
$5
$5 title.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of those that Artisan was the label that put those out. It was like
$5, $10 titles, and
the new releases were like 20. Maybe
tops.
the week.
Yeah.
Maybe the week they came out, they'd be on sale for like $17.99.
Yeah.
But they were about 20.
I remember that, and I was like, this is going to be a great medium because VHS tapes. Remember when the VHS tapes came out and they were like $109? It's like, what?
Oh my God. I still have Sears catalogs from when I was a kid. I'm talking like 1985.
Oh my God.
And Gone with the Wind was like $109 because it was 2 tapes.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was
And
really
I remember
crazy.
when Goodfellas came out on VHS.
Of course you do.
Because you had to put it in.
I cannot.
2. You had to,
Was that a double?
It was a double. Yeah, it was.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Where did they break it? I'm just curious. Do you remember where they... I mean, I know Heat was double. Braveheart was double. These are 90s movies, but... Casino, of course.
The fuck did they break it? They broke at... when Henry got out of the... No, when Henry went to jail. I remember that was one of the last lines was, now drive me to prison.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so...
And that was the intermission point.
Yeah,
we
pretty
changed the
much.
tape. That's funny. Which that good... I don't know if you saw on social media. Now that I've been pumping out, which... If you are watching this on YouTube and you're a new subscriber, welcome, because I've been getting so many new subscribers on the channel because YouTube is putting an emphasis on YouTube Shorts. So all the short videos I've been putting up on Instagram as Reels and on TikTok, I'm just putting up the old ones on YouTube as YouTube Shorts, anything that's under a minute. And because we were doing this in anticipation of the live show, even though I didn't announce you were a part of it, but I put up just the reenactment you and I did, the very brief reenactment of the end of Goodfellas.
Oh, Henry!
Exactly. And that picked up, we got like 6 subscribers that day.
Oh, fantastic.
Off of that video. And I'm like, well, this is a classic moment. That's going to be in the best of. But it's, we can't get away from Goodfellas and Ray Liotta. We always circle back to it, which is fine.
Love Ray Liotta.
I'm all about it. And I will cop too. I said for a long time, like of the Scorsese canon, Casino was my favorite movie. I actually did watch it last month sometime, and I hadn't seen it in about 10 years. because and I remember the last time I watched it was 2012 because I just got the Blu-ray, which was another physical media thing that's gone because for a while Best Buy was taking trade-ins and you could trade in certain titles. I think it may have been like Universal and Warner Brothers. There's only a couple of studios that did it, but you can bring in your DVD and you get $5 off the Blu-ray.
Okay.
This is a window in like 2012. It didn't last long, but I used the opportunity to upgrade a couple of movies from DVD to Blu-ray, and Casino was one of them. So I remember watching it at that time, and I'd recently been in a relationship where with a woman who couldn't hold her liquor, and the Sharon Stone moment where De Niro's like basically trying to throw her out of the house and drag her out of the house, and she's so combative and drunk and everything like that. That struck too many nerves for me at the time, so I literally hadn't seen Casino in 10 years because.
Gotcha.
But meanwhile, I've seen Goodfellas countless times since then, and I used to say, there was just something, Casino gets a slight edge over Goodfellas. I have to admit now, after all this time and having seen Goodfellas so many times and how fucking great it is, and having just seen Casino, as much as I love it, Goodfellas does win by like an eyelash. I will say it does edge out Casino. Casino's an amazing movie, but Goodfellas, I think the quotability and just everything. Maybe it's the personal connection because you and I keep circling back to Goodfellas on this show.
Goodfellas
I mean, why
awesome.
not?
I mean, I love Casino too. But
yeah,
I haven't seen it as many times as I've seen Goodfellas. But
definitely not.
No.
But it was great to revisit after 10 years because you kind of forget. Like, this is a great movie. But
and if you take a look at my wife, when she was, and
Christian Pulpafort. No, I'm kidding.
I've told her this many times.
Yes.
I said I pulled up pictures of her when she was like 23, and Lorraine Bracco. Mm-hmm. They're very similar, but Julia's like much more striking, in my opinion.
No, you showed me. No, I agree.
And yeah, she's just like wow.
When I don't remember how we were talking about it, but it came up, and you were just like, look, and you pulled out your phone, and you showed. I was just like, oh wow, you're right. Wow. Was that one of the selling points?
No, I mean, I never really had a huge crush on Lorraine Bracco, but very striking woman.
Oh yeah,
beautiful.
Oh, for
As a matter of fact, she's at Chiller this weekend too.
Is she really?
Hello, Lorraine Bracco. Yes, she is. You should go up.
I may have to. Well, I did. You know what's funny? I did tag her in the Goodfellas reenactment. Didn't hear from her.
She's probably
shockingly.
She's like, this Mike Zapcic's an asshole. And we were watching Rizzoli and Isles, and very funny that my wife and I binged all the seasons of Rizzoli and Isles.
My mother loves that show. I've never seen it.
Oh, it's
not for any reason, but
pretty funny because
I've heard.
She plays Angie Harmon's mom.
Really?
And she's actually quite good in it, but she gets to be like your stereotypical, Italian mother. Why don't you call me no more? It's like, oh,
right.
Fuck. It's like, oh, really?
Right out of the stereotype catalog.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
If, she puts on 150 pounds and gets that little stash right around here. The little, the pencil thin mustache, right? The John Waters. Then you're like, oh shit, that's my mother-in-law. That's my mother-in-law.
I mean, around here, it doesn't take place in Jersey, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No.
Damn.
Sorry. Was it New York? It might have been New York.
Might have been New York.
I don't know.
Maybe. Rizzoli? It better
Rizzoli.
be. It had to be on the East Coast. Let's be real.
No, I think it was on the West Coast, wasn't it? I forget where it was.
I mean, not impossible.
Was it Boston? Might have been Boston. I think it was Boston. Yes, it was Boston. Pretty sure it's Boston.
You binged the whole thing and just retained nothing except Lorraine Bracco.
Exactly, Lorraine Bracco.
Lorraine Bracco was an Italian
Lorraine
cartoon
Bracco.
Italian mother.
Why don't you call me? And Chaz Palminteri was the dad.
I'm so mad. I was going to get, my parents aren't watching, so I'm not worried about them hearing about this, but for their anniversary, he's doing A Bronx Tale at Monmouth University. But it sold the fuck out, and I was so pissed.
Damn.
Because I'm like, I should have jumped on that right. I even said it to my sisters, like, should we get this from Mom and Dad? Granted, our parents' anniversary was 2 days ago. But I was like, because it's in a week. It's like November 7th or something like that. And I was like, we should get tickets for Mom and Dad. That'd be great because I've said it before on the show, but it bears repeating. And since they're new listeners and viewers, why not? Chaz Palminteri is the reason my father, after 11 years of me podcasting, knows what a podcast is because he does one on YouTube. Excellent. And watching that, my mother was able to say what he's doing. He's talking to people. He's interviewing people, and he's at the microphone. He's talking to. Yeah, that's what your son does. Oh, that was it. I was like, it took that for it to make sense. Like, what do you mean? So you're on the radio? No, it's not the radio, Dad. It's there's a lot. Why are you putting on makeup to do this thing? Don't worry about it, Dad. All right, it's 2022. We don't judge anymore.
It's like Bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 2025. I'm judging the shit out of you.
Yeah, my dad is an Italian cartoon character. No, he's not. But yeah, like this is not like eyeliner and lipstick. This is just some cheap Spirit Halloween cream makeup. So yeah,
Perfect.
it worked apparently.
It did. You look great.
Thank you. Well, before we wrap up, we got any comments or anything? Is anybody watching? Yeah. Okay. Anybody have any questions? We can throw it out there. If people have questions, like if you want to throw something toward, there you go. Oh wait, that's what he actually meant.
No, but
Before we wrap up, he's very much his own thing. We need to grab a thumbnail for that. Would you mind spinning on my own thing around so we can? Because we're gonna have to pull a picture of just like. Okay, I'm gonna need that.
Here, hold on to this too.
Yes.
Go ahead.
If anybody does in fact have any questions, and you want to throw some questions before we wrap up, if any viewers, you got anything, we'll continue riffing about whenever.
What do you got on there?
We covered. Okay, all right. Here's the question. I'm going to throw this out there to the audience because this is something I've gotten in debates about, and it's been a theme in the 12 years I've been podcasting. Pronunciation. October 31st is
Halloween.
Christian. Halloween. It is Halloween, not Halloween, but
No,
it's something
Halloween.
I've gotten it right. Even the song goes, "This is Halloween. This is Halloween," which everybody, Night Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus, all the Halloween basics.
Wait, really? I thought in that song it's Halloween because it fits the scheme.
This is Halloween. This
Do they say
is
Halloween?
Halloween. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
and
shit.
it should be Halloween actually.
Yeah.
To be fair, but we've got the Jersey accent, which I swear to God I worked very hard. It's really weird, but whenever I speak, I'm from a very young age natural mimic. I will mimic
Oh my
what
God,
you say.
same.
So, and I had a
As a former class clown too,
Yes.
I have to imitate people.
but I do it unconsciously. So I had a teacher who was from Brooklyn. Chocolate and Nancy. And I yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Ma. And I picked that up from her. And she was my second grade teacher, Mrs. Torregrossa. Mrs. Torregrossa, actually. Torregrossa. Lovely woman. And
Speaking of pronunciation.
freaked my mother out that I picked this up from her. And she's like, oh my God. And my mother was scandalized because my mother's from Philadelphia.
Oh,
Irish from Philadelphia, not Italian from Brooklyn.
from Brooklyn.
But thought the world of
That's
Mrs. Torregrossa.
That's a sitcom that writes itself.
Yeah, exactly,
Go on.
right? I know. They should have moved in together and all hilarity would have ensued.
Yes, I was
But-
just saying hilarity ensues. God damn.
She told my mother you have to get rid of this accent. So I had to make a conscious decision, conscious effort to get rid of it. So years later, I went to college, Manhattan College, up in the Bronx. So I started talking like those people. I come home, and my mother's like, are we going to have to do this again? And so now I am very conscious of the way that people enunciate and pronounce.
Right.
And it should be Halloween. Halloww. Halloween.
Right.
But we're from Jersey, so it's Halloween.
Right.
You say Halloween, but it should be Halloween.
You think?
I think so.
All right. Well, the flavor that people would consider the opposite of chocolate is what?
Vanilla?
See, but you stopped yourself to say vanilla, not vanilla. Because
It's
you said
vanilla. VANILLA.
Now you're just showing off. Now you're just showing off. You're just flexing some culinary school
he's
muscle.
also the cook, so he's going to.
He is.
So it
Actually.
is vanilla. So
It is
yes.
vanilla. I should have asked you. Christian could have been my victim on that one.
And it was. It used to be
It's vanilla.
Used to be chocolate.
Vanilla.
Wow, you are a piece of shit.
I'm sorry, dude. He's going to pour that liquid death over my head. Christian is too.
I don't want you on my set
Frosty
no
cat.
more.
Oh, have I been fired?
Yeah, if you think I'm kidding too.
I will not. I would not do that in front of your team. No chance.
You do have some questions.
Oh, do it.
No,
All right,
beautiful.
well,
Let's
bring
go.
it on.
All
Let's
right,
hear
you
it,
got
people.
2 questions. One from Marv the producer.
Why do you look like Danhausen? No, I'm kidding.
Actually, holy shit.
Does someone say Danhausen?
No.
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite Tim Burton movie?
Ooh, you know what? It's not the Tim. I want to say Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but It's not the Tim Burtoniest movie, but I have to go with the 89 Batman just because that was one of the early movies I saw in the theater, and it was a movie that was inescapable at that time because, I mean, I was just about to turn 8. Was I in first grade, second grade? 89? Yeah.
You got me on
I
that
was
one.
in second grade. I saw that early on, and it just made an impression. I mean, it's not. He just did an interview saying like, "Oh, it's it's like a lighthearted romp compared to like the Robert Pattinson Batman, from earlier this year," and it kind of is. But like that was just. I mean, he has so many great movies. It's tough. Like there was a survey on.
Well, I mean,
on
it is kind of
like,
easy to find your favorite Tim Burton movie. There's after a certain point, there's like a cutoff.
Well, I mean,
like a Mendoza line. There's a Mendoza line. The Mendoza line is how you can. It's the batting average that you have to stay in the big leagues.
Oh, okay. I know nothing about sports. That's why I knew.
Me
nothing.
neither.
Okay,
but I know about the Mendoza line.
See, I'm gonna have to drop that
There you
at some
go.
point. Yeah. But I mean, there are like Beetlejuice is very much like a Tim Burton movie in the same way Pee-wee's Big Adventure is a Tim Burton movie minus the gothic feel.
I would
but
say
Sleepy
it's
Hollow,
I would say
love.
it's there. It's just reversed, where it's not totally gothic, but because of how little gothic it is, it's just as creepy. Because Tim Burton is known for that atmosphere.
Wait, you talking about Batman?
No, for Pee-wee.
Oh,
I think
Pee-wee.
no, Pee-wee is even creepier because of the very few gothic things that they had in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they stand out more.
Yes.
The large marsh thing I couldn't even watch as a kid
Yes.
when her face turns to
My
claymation.
favorite part in that movie.
I used to have to turn away from that as a kid. That freaked me out.
It used to make me laugh.
I mean, now it cracks me up, but like as a kid, I was just like, "Bruh," I couldn't watch it. Looked like this. Bruh. Yeah, I have to go with that. But there are a lot. I even like his Dumbo film because at least it wasn't
I
just a
haven't
straight
seen it.
remake. You haven't seen that?
No, not his Dumbo.
I went and saw it in the theater by myself because nobody wanted to see it. No, but I like that it was, as opposed to a straight up remake like Disney's kind of been doing, like it wasn't all talking animals. It was very much this human story, which I dug. Like it was a story about the humans and not about the animals, but about what happens, with this elephant that can fly.
Now, does
I
this
dug
also count like his produced movies as well? Because
I wouldn't say that Nightmare Before Christmas counts.
Yeah, because he produced
even
it.
if that has his name in the title.
Yeah, no, I would say his direct. Well, let's. Marv is the one who asked.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marvin from Bravery Studios.
But I wouldn't even consider that my favorite, but probably in the realm of animation, Corpse Bride.
I love Corpse Bride. I prefer Corpse Bride over Nightmare Before Christmas. Another unpopular opinion. And like I said, I already like Charlie and Chocolate Factory, so I'm fucked up.
You know what though? That one I can understand.
Yeah.
Because Nightmare, it can be said, has not the greatest story.
It's also a musical too. Corpse Bride is a musical.
Yeah, it is. Corpse Bride's 100% a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's just not rammed down our throats every year the way
It does well.
the way Nightmare is, but it's like, yeah. I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm just going to be a font of misinformation tonight. But
what about you, Mike?
What do I? Mine is Batman Returns.
Really?
Yeah. You know what? Because it's a Christmas movie that was released in June.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of funny, but it's definitely a Christmas movie. It's one of the very first sequels that used the formula of sandwiching villains.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because you had the Penguin, you had Catwoman, and you also had Max Schreck.
Yes.
And Walken, anything that Walken does, in my opinion, is just a touch of genius. He is a fucking psychopath. I mean, I'm sure he's got some fucking dancing skeletons in his closet, but that he's just such a charming guy that you would forgive him everything. You're waiting for what?
You know who I'm waiting for a joke about.
Oh, I'm not. No.
Really?
No, I'm not gonna, no.
You're not going to make a Natalie Wood joke?
No.
Okay.
No.
Marv would like to include the movies he's produced as well.
I'm trying. I mean, obviously, Nightmare Before Christmas is one that springs to mind. See,
I'm sticking with mine. I'm sticking with Batman Returns because it's got everything that you just said. It's got all the gothic parts. Like Gotham becomes its own. In the first one, Gotham was a character.
Yes.
In the second one, even more so.
It's a living, breathing thing.
Because
the second one.
Anton Furst's designs of Gotham, he plays on them, and you get to see the fucking sewers of Gotham, which is pretty damn cool.
That is pretty cool.
And plus, you've got Pee-wee and Simone in there.
See, it is a great looking movie. I don't think it's a great movie. I love. I mean, the aesthetic and everything, and the way it looks, and obviously,
That's
Michelle
one of
Pfeiffer's
my-
Catwoman is perfect,
Spot
in so
on.
many ways. But having just watched it again, I'm like, it's not such a great movie, and it takes like 48 minutes for Batman to return. Like, it's a Batman movie. It doesn't have a whole lot of Batman in it.
That's what I loved about it.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what you got more Bruce Wayne than you got Batman, which I think is more telling than anything else. And you've got Bruce Wayne, who's I was never a big fan of like the Burton has this overwhelming need to do clever wordplay sometimes.
Okay.
When the guy's like, "Hey, Penguin Man in the sewers," and then Alfred comes along. He's like, and he's like, in typical British fashion, tells this guy that she's just peddling rubbish. It's like, shut the fuck up. And you're not going to give me.
Don't actually talk like that.
It's
Tim Burton. You kidding?
This fucking thing's 50 cents. Buy it or keep fucking walking. Don't critique what I'm selling, you douche. So that for me was like my favorite part. And plus they did a little and it was beautiful to behold the Batmobile become like he was locked out of it. And
We have a caller. We have a caller with a question.
Can we take that caller on line 3, Christian?
No.
All right, then fuck you.
Get
off the goddamn.
Hello. Sorry. Yeah. I had to. I just saw Dog Day Afternoon the other night. And I've been talking like Sonny for the last 2 days because I'm a psychopath.
I'm surprised you guys didn't go with my number 2 option, which was Mars Attacks. That's one of my favorites.
It was good, but not. Again, that was a really shitty story.
Well, it's exactly what it's supposed to be. Like I when I was a kid, I was just like, this is going to be fun, and I kind of didn't get it, but I also hadn't seen the movies it's referencing and the movies that's paying homage to that kind of like schlocky, like 50s, like sci-fi.
Can I change my my answer? I just thought of something.
You can say Ed Wood.
I am.
Ed Wood is a great choice.
Ed Wood is a great movie.
Amazing because just
I haven't seen that. I gotta watch that too.
It is such a.
I haven't seen it in a while. I've seen it obviously.
Yeah, it's a fantastic one to watch around this time of year. Yeah, you know what? I loved Batman. Batman Returns, but the fact that Ed Wood was so amazing and that Martin Landau was a triumph. And that Juliet Landau.
Fuck you.
Yes, she was amazing. Yeah. Call Karloff a cocksucker. And Bill Murray.
Fuck you.
Yeah, right. What did he say?
Bill Murray, I almost, if I didn't have the black paint on my face, I'd look like Bill Murray in that movie.
Oh, my God. It's insane. But
go ahead. We're just going to throw out references. We're just going to fill time. This is going to be a bloated live stream.
See, now I'm really thinking, and I'm like, Corpse Bride is damn good, but I do love Big Fish.
You know what? I think I've only seen Big Fish once, and I really enjoyed it, and I haven't watched it since. But yeah, I remember really.
I think Big Fish to me stands out.
Is that number 1 for you? So I was going to ask you your choice.
I think that's probably like on my list.
Okay,
if maybe top 5.
Okay, so it doesn't podium, but it's in there.
But
so what's number 1?
The ending for sure gets me every fucking time.
I don't remember the ending offhand, but
I won't spoil it for you.
Okay,
then you gotta watch it.
My number 1 was still Corpse Bride.
It is Corpse Bride. Okay.
Yeah, mine's still Corpse Bride.
So mine's my number 1, Ed Wood. So I think that Johnny Depp was amazing in it.
Yeah. Oh God.
Mike Starr, who was in here not too long ago.
Really?
Mike Starr also at Chiller this week.
Now I know what I got to do tomorrow.
We should have just been a correspondent podcast. Jesus.
Apparently, yeah. Why aren't we there? Maybe we need to just show up tomorrow and see if they'll let us do a pod.
Mig and I actually did a podcast from there one time.
How'd that go?
Yeah, and we did they gave us a room, and it was actually pretty cool.
That is cool. Hey, what's up, everybody? We're here at Chillerama.
Hi, everyone. I'm here with
my
guest, my co-host, Mike Zapcic.
With Mike Zapcic. Hey, what's up, Mike?
How are you?
We're going to be doing an unboxing of Super 7.
Before we move on to the next question, I got a fun fact for you. Or if you want to take a guess at it.
Okay.
What was the first theatrical movie that Tim Burton worked on? Not as
worked on.
Not as a writer or director, but as a
an
schmo.
employee.
But here's the thing, an important schmo.
I'll
give you a hint.
It doesn't come to mind, but I know what it is.
I'll give you a hint.
Yes, sir.
Something me and you bond over.
Oh, the Muppets? What
he
Muppet
was
movie
a
was it?
puppeteer on the first Muppet movie.
Right.
For the pit scene when they had all the characters together, he was a part of a local California union. He performed Grover.
Really?
Yes.
See, again, that's one of those things where I'm like, I know it, but I can't spring to mind. Have I gotten camera shy? This is what I get for taking 2 months off.
Next question.
Yes.
What is the greatest Halloween candy?
Oh. You mean what was the one that you're like, holy shit balls when you looked in your bag?
Yeah, the one. All right, just to specify, we're being dickish. We're taking questions. We want clarity. Our favorite or the one we were most excited to get is trick or treaters. So I mean, we'll do.
Sherry doesn't specify.
No. Okay.
No.
As a kid,
yes. Go ahead.
I was very excited to get the $100,000 bars, even the little fun ones.
$100,000.
There were $100,000 bars. That's what we call them.
You're not talking $100,000?
100 grand. They're 100 grand now, but back in the day,
they were
$100,000 bars.
Dinosaurs walked the earth.
Yes, that was the name of it. Yeah, because $100,000 bars that was like $1 million bar.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to eat this.
So
this
yeah,
is valuable. I'll tell you what I hated getting Milk Duds. My dad would eat them when I got home. I hated getting Milk Duds because I knew they weren't going to be mine. My father would fish. He would sort through the candy. He's like, I got to check it for razor blade or whatever the hell it was. My dad was a Gavone. There, I'll throw out a nice little guinea reference. But
all right, Sherry specified your favorite as a kid, and one now that you see for sale at CVS. So like your favorite as a kid.
I mean, I'm still a fan of candy corn. I know candy corn is reviled along with Peeps. I bought a bag of candy corn that I've been picking at. That's
I think candy corn's fine. Cupboard. It's Peeps that I think are fucking disgusting.
I'm not going to argue with anybody, but like sugar is, my dietary vice. So, I mean, they're all fucking sugar. That's all Peeps are. So I'm there for it. But, yeah, I mean, seasonally, yeah, like I will only eat candy corn in October. Like I'm not going to pick up, like I realize they're companies that make candy corn. Like I think Jelly Belly makes candy corn. It's in the section with like the jelly beans, and they make like Swedish fish and stuff like that too. And like you could buy it all year round, but I'm never like, oh, it's March, I'm going to pick up a bag of candy corn because I'm in the mood. Like it's one of those things I'm going to put in that pumpkin spice category where it's like, you know what? It's October. I'm getting a PSL from Starbucks and a bag of candy corn that again, I'm just going to pick at. I don't sit and like house a bag in one sitting because that would be, I mean, I court diabetes enough as it is, but to get as a kid, yeah, I didn't like Milk Duds. It was usually, boy, if there's something that stood out. My father would mostly eat like chocolate, which is probably why I prefer like fruit flavor candy, like Skittles and like Starburst and stuff like that. I love getting that stuff as a kid. Like there's not one that immediately jumps out. I wish there was. There's not one that I can recall.
There's one for me that
my dad would eat the chocolate, except Butterfingers. Well, no, sorry, my dad would eat the Butterfingers. This is my last part.
Go.
It's my goddamn show. My dad would eat the Butterfingers, which is funny because my dad does not like peanut butter.
That is weird.
Isn't it? Yeah. But we'll eat Butterfingers. Did I talk about this one? I feel like I talked about this on the show.
Don't know.
At some point.
No,
I had this conversation.
I think you brought this up to in conversation.
I posted it on Instagram.
Oh,
that's what it was. I did a poll on Instagram about like my father likes Butterfingers, does not like peanut butter. Doesn't make sense to me. Please explain. What was it? I was comparing it to I forget. I compared it to another candy. Now I got to go back and check and see what it was.
Mary Jane's.
So follow it. Chris sells out on Instagram, everybody. I will repost it and do a fresh survey because I was just like, that makes no sense. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, that was it.
As a kid, my favorite that I would look forward to getting wasn't often, but when I did get it, not the little ones, not the medium ones, but the giant Tootsie Rolls. I used to love them motherfuckers.
Wait, talk about like the foot long ones or the ones that are just like extra long? That were like 4 inches.
Yeah, the bigger ones.
Gotcha.
But as an adult, I had one not too long ago, and I was just like, oh my God, it's straight sugar.
Yeah.
This is, no.
That's why Pixie Sticks were such a big deal. It was just kiddie cocaine. That's all Pixie Sticks were. It was just this is still a straw filled with,
Actually,
it'll pick you up faster than
you get like a Coke grinder and just grab Sweet Tarts and you got pixie dust. That's what you're doing.
And we got flagged by YouTube. Good.
Yeah, there you go. And there goes our stream.
See, that's why up and we're dropped. Okay.
Really?
Well, those of you who are listening to the audio of the show, we're going to keep going. No, We got any other questions from the audience? Anybody else want to know anything else?
Nah, just
you all
some
can double.
people-
No, everybody's just giving thumbs up and adoration.
Yeah, someone was like, it better not be banana Laffy Taffy. I'm like, I agree. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger. Yeah, just people kind of expressing.
I got you. Just people
Yeah.
piggybacking on our answers.
You know, it was a
which is
candy
cool.
I didn't like as a kid, but I do
Go
like.
ahead. We did a
now.
whole video. Actually, I'm going to put. We discussed the worst candies in a show last
Yes, we
November.
did.
Well, I'm going to put the link in the video description here, so you all can watch it.
Hershey's
Because
Kisses.
we talk about it.
I used to think that they were
Really?
kind of boring as a kid because I was like, it's just a little chocolate
'Cause they
thing.
are.
But then as an adult, I have them around Christmas time and I get all nostalgic.
Of course you do, because
Because the commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that commercial.
But
All
the We
right.
Wish You Merry Christmas Bells one. Yeah.
That's how you know it's Christmas, when you see that commercial on TV.
Yes. Or unless you're my mother and see that Folgers commercial where the son comes home for Christmas. Gets her every time. This commercial's been airing for 30 years. That's going to come up during the interview. People are going to think it's a prop. I'm going to have a box of tissues in front of my mother because there's going to be a point. You're going to have to engineer. We have to coordinate because you need to be there for the interviews with my parents because you have free reign. I really will have a box of tissues because, my mother's sensitive. Not in a bad way. That's not an insult. I'm just saying, stuff like the Folgers commercial just has gotten her for my entire life to where I'm just like, well, it's Christmas. That fucking Folgers commercial's airing.
But Mike, what about chew candies? Did you answer already?
I did.
You did? What was yours?
I did say the $100,000 bar.
$100,000 bar.
$100,000. But
Do
I
they
also
still make those?
Yeah, they're $100,000 now.
It's $100,000.
It's $100,000. I also used to love Zagnuts and Clark bars, and people are like, "What the fuck are those?" I'm like, well,
I remember hearing about them in movies. People refer to Clark bars and Zagnuts as a kid, and I couldn't find them. They're around now. Well, Clark bars is sick.
Actually, in Beetlejuice,
That's right. He's got
the Zagnut.
No, it's a bit of honey because he's trying to get the bee.
No, it's he's trying to get the fly, and it was a Zagnut.
Was it Zagnut? I thought it was a bit of honey.
It's a Zagnut.
Okay.
Trust me.
No, I believe again. I'm not getting things right tonight. Apparently,
right.
the makeup is seeping into my brain.
The makeup's the only thing you got right today.
Holy
All right,
shit.
yeah. Thank God.
Wow. Well, that's it, everybody. See you next Monday. All right. Well, we've done it. What do we got? We probably got an hour and a half. Oh, yeah. We've been on for about an hour and a half. So we're going to call it. So listen, happy Halloween.
Chris is calling an audible.
I am. Used to be a joke with an affiliate link with audible.com, but I'm not going to reference that because it's Cape 2.0.
That's
Cape
right.
Mark 2, different era.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so yeah, listen, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this later, hey, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, you can subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, of course, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app, wherever you stream your music. The show's available everywhere. New episode every Monday, like I said, through December 5th. We're going to go all the way to 220 for this year. So you got 5 more coming at you after this one for 2022 with a whole variety of guests, including, Mike is always down. Mike moves. I don't understand what world I'm in. I was talking about this with Marv, the producer, with Marvin. Funnily enough, just I can't believe I live in a world where you will move plans to be on my dopey show.
That's what I do.
And here in the most famous comic book store in the world, which is by no means a podcast studio, but yeah, it's just come here and do the show. And I'm like, okay, what have I done right to make this happen? But there we go. It's crazy. And
Literally everything. You, not only are you a nice guy.
You're gonna kiss my ass. All right. I'm here for it. Fuck her up.
You know what? Fuck you. I'm not going to do it now.
No, please, go ahead. Go
Wow.
ahead. I'm sorry. I'm being a dick.
You're not getting it now.
But the audience says there's people.
Oh, dude, you're going home with blue
Go
balls.
ahead. I did the right. I'm sorry.
No,
I apologize.
You're not getting it.
Blue balls.
End your show.
No, come on. End it on a positive note.
No.
And ended on a negative note, Chris. Ooh, you just pissed off your engineer.
Again.
It's like
I
third
will
time.
say though, when you do frown, it does read ridiculously on camera.
Oh, it's amazing.
You look like Terrifier. You look like Art the Clown.
Actually, doesn't he looks like a kabuki player, right? And you should have subtitles underneath you. Oh, you have made Samurai sad. Yeah, and don't do that to me. Don't ever do that to me.
Is that gasoline I smell? No, this is not a. It's not a. I was gonna say thrift shop. Holy shit.
We are not.
I really can't think.
No, we are not.
I really cannot think. I apologize. I did all the right. Please, Christian, put a button on it. Don't do this during the live stream. Please tell me what you're gonna say.
I'm not doing it now.
Pretty please.
I had a momentum and you fucking ruined it. We're good.
I'm sorry. See, it's what I get. But listen, that's the takeaway from this. Don't be a dick to people the only people who are getting paid to be here.
Didn't we say don't be a dick when we were talking about Matthew Perry?
We did.
But Matthew Perry didn't take it to heart.
He hasn't heard that. Oh, he might be home watching the show right now.
He's
if he hears it.
He's like sitting.
Loved you on Studio 60. Not really.
No, we really didn't. You were kind of a dick
It was
in
the
that,
show
too.
we loved to hate.
Yeah, it's true. It is the show. The show I love to pick apart because it
Show we're about
should have been
hate watching.
so good.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's the visual equivalent of hate fucking.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, that's going in the trailer.
I know.
Does that earn your praise now, Christian? Come on, that was pretty good. Please. All right, come on. What were you gonna? I apologize. Please.
No.
Please lather me up. I'm not going to tell you what it is I was going to say before.
Oh Jesus! Then
Hi.
yeah,
I said we're ending the show.
Just
so,
fucking dig. Just keep digging.
Hey, well, I got nothing to lose now except the job next weekend. Anyway, thanks for. All right, sorry for fucking that up, everybody. Maybe next time, when Christian has a heartfelt moment, I won't fuck up. I'm sorry.
No, you were going to. You know you will.
I probably will.
Yeah,
I haven't learned a goddamn thing
ever.
Yeah, I'm no more zen than I was back when you saw me last time you heard from me last month. Anyway, thanks for subscribing to the show wherever you get your podcasts, stream your music. You can follow me on Instagram at Chris Sells Out, on Twitter at Chris Aballo, and follow the show at Cape Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And video clips going up on Instagram and TikTok on a weekly basis. So make sure you check those out. If you like the longer form stuff, the shorter form stuff, hey, share it, repost it, all that good stuff. We love it, and we appreciate the support because we're here to have a good time. And if we have a good time, you have a good time, and all the more reason you should tell people you like and who follow you about it because they deserve a good time too. You can follow Mike. That was
I'm at Michael Zapcic, but that doesn't track. It's like if we're having a good time, you're having a good time. People like you. I love Matthew Perry. Go fuck yourselves.
Well,
you
that's on you.
assholes.
But
yeah,
it makes you feel better. Mike's not on next week.
Yeah, and if it's on you because you like Matthew Perry,
we lost like half the viewers just when we said Friends sucks.
Oh my God! Who gives a shit? Well, they're not known for their taste now, are you? Oh, the people who left you pieces of shit. So we didn't need you in the first place.
I'm just gonna keep doing this frown. This is an exaggerated frown, which is gonna look
the kabuki.
Terrifying.
But
I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for stupid kids.
This wasn't for those kabuki kids.
Wow.
Just follow me at Michael Zapcic on Twitter, on Instagram. I post like once every 62 years on Instagram, but every time I do, it's like boom, you get 72,000 likes. I'm like, oh, cool.
Because it's a big deal.
Yeah, so maybe over the next year,
you're like the James Cameron of Instagram. Like I only do something every couple of years. Thank God
you didn't say like the Kirk Cameron of Instagram, because I would have been like that motherfucker.
Oh boy, we're just ripping apart sitcom actors tonight.
Yeah, I know. Oh God.
See, this is not your typical Halloween special.
No, because sitcom actors from the 80s were douchebags. So many of them. Not all.
Anyway.
Don't even get me started.
we already talked a bit about it.
That's right.
Anyway, you can follow Christian, and follow him, despite the fact that, make him feel better by giving him a follow, because I upset him. Christian Cortez on Instagram, Arcade Player One on Twitter, and check out Arcade Productions on YouTube. And if you haven't seen the video already, check out The Clock Strikes Halloween, his song and music video on the Arcade Productions YouTube channel, which I plug to basically everybody I meet, because I'm like, oh, you think I'm talented? You know who's almost as good as me? Christian Cortez. Check out the Arcade Productions YouTube channel.
When does that ever go? Do people come up to you and say, hey, Chris, you're so talented? You're like, if you think I'm talented, go to Christian Cortez. Do people do that?
They do in my world, Mike.
They do in my world.
They do in my world. They do.
Excellent.
I'm sitting at home and the Wi-Fi's out.
Gotcha. All right, good deal.
Imagining what it would be like to be outside talking to people. Anyway, I've said too much.
You're there ironing your underwear. It's not even hot.
How do you know I iron my underwear?
I don't know. You just seem like the kind of guy who would iron his underwear.
Man, how is it I'm in the barrel? I need more people on this show.
Because you're pissing off Christian. Poor Christian.
And you're, God. Look at you. You're just like, Christian, let's bury this guy.
No,
like, I don't care.
I look down. There you are laying on the ground. I figured I'd get a couple of kicks in.
I'm trying to get my hands off my face.
No.
What did I do right, Christian? He's like,
not a damn thing.
Go fuck yourself. That's what you did. All right, fine. Listen, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Once again, back next Monday with an all-new episode. Give everybody a follow, everybody a like, and Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, 65 Broad Street, Red Bank, New Jersey.
That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say,
Happy Halloween! That too. Well, I had to throw in another plug. Why not? Because, I mean, we're literally here. I do it anyway, but like,
why not?
Take a photo in between these pops. Come on in. And you may very well see this guy.
You might.
He'll be dressed more schlubby than this time.
I will be schlubbed.
He won't be wearing this. Unless you come in Monday. You can be here.
I will be here wearing this Monday. So
okay, well, you heard it here. You saw it here. Imagine that. Maybe he'll give you a sticker. Bring your kid. He'll give you a sticker at a gift.
No sticker. You might get some candy or a comic book. Put that back. Holy shit.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
I wouldn't do that. That would be creepy as
Yeah,
fuck.
that'd be a little too close to Bukkake Theater, and I'm not down with that.
I don't know, man.
So-
When I looked up for a second, I just saw Mike do this and then singing the fucking circus theme song while getting close to your face. That was probably one of the weirdest things I've seen.
It's like
In a while.
In a while.
You've seen some weird shit, Kristen.
have.
You worked for me for what, 5 years now?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I've seen some weird shit.
Oh.
It's up there.
And that
I've made you watch some weird shit. Not me personally, but due to the job. So yeah, I know your life is a hollow lie, Christian.
Poor Christian. And send Christian well wishes, everybody. He's fighting, which is why he's not on camera.
And $1.
unfortunately.
Send Christian $1.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, there might be a couple of Christian Cortez is on Venmo, but put your Venmo link in your link tree, would you, Christian?
Yeah, please.
So people can find it.
I should just call my Venmo Arcade Productions. Just
I mean, why
fucking
not? Be easier to
Send
find.
me $1.
There's a couple good. Yeah, send him $1. So he can because those glasses are going to need to be replaced
Yeah,
in
in about
week or two
20
anyway.
minutes. My
Yeah,
God,
exactly.
I think he broke
So
it like 30 seconds ago.
it's just
too.
on now, man. I gave you the chance to
right.
continue, but now I'm just
Christian, kill it.
no.
I want to get out of here.
No, listen.
I gotta go home.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. I got to do my typical sign off. Are we out already? You already okay. I'm like,
killed
he's
it.
going to cut it off just to spite me.
He just did it right now.
So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing and following. So, until next time, for Christian Cortez and Mike Zapcic, this is Chris Aballo, and this was yet another experiment.